All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of V Electronics, and in this video we'll be talking about the insider and the outsider model. So that's the insider and outsider model when it comes to macroeconomics. All right, and when we talk about insider and outsider, we're talking about insider employees and outsider employees. Okay, so insider employees are people who are more experienced. Okay, so let's assume that this is your workforce within a company. Okay, and let's say this is, all right, this is roughly, say, 55% of the workforce. That is more of a insider workforce. And let's say the other 45% is the outsider. Okay, so the insider workforce has to do with employees who are more experienced, they're trained, and they're capable of training or retraining other employees, okay, especially new employees. Okay, so we're talking about experienced employees, okay, we're talking about employees who can train other employees, so training. Okay, and people who have been with the company for a while. So we're talking about long-term commitment. All right, on the other side, you have new employees over here. This is your outsider workforce. Okay, so we're talking about new employees. Okay, employees who are there for short term. So let's say temporary employees or temp employees and casual employees. Okay, you may also have freelancers and independent contractors. All right. So the firm basically depends on the insider workforce, okay, to keep the organization running smoothly. Okay. So this has to do with your key person insurance, for example. If you lose something or somebody from the inside, okay, you may have to go for a claim, okay, when it comes to your key person insurance. Why? Because the cost of training an employee to this level, where the employee's experience, where the employee has enough experience to train and retrain new employees, is quite high. Not to mention, it takes quite a lot of time, okay, which means the marginal benefit of the company losing the insider workforce, okay, is reduced significantly, right? Because the marginal benefit of having insider workforce is higher compared to the marginal benefit in most cases of having the outsider workforce. Okay, so the marginal benefit of having an outsider workforce may be lower in a company compared to the marginal benefit of having an insider workforce, which means the company is producing more revenue, so increased revenue with the insider workforce because in most cases they know what they're doing. They've been trained, they're experienced, they've done the job in the past, okay, and they can train other employees to do the same. So the revenue of that company goes up. Okay, when it comes to their insider workforce, the bigger the insider workforce, the higher the revenue. Okay, the smaller the insider workforce, okay, the lower the revenue. All right. Likewise, the bigger the outsider workforce, the lower the revenue in many cases. Not necessarily, but in many cases. So lower the revenue. Okay, and okay, the lower the outsider workforce, okay, the higher the revenue, right? Because as long as this workforce, okay, becomes an insider workforce, does not get unemployed, does not get discouraged, okay, in that case, what's going to end up happening is the company will have a workforce that is more stable. the employment is more stable. Okay, so you have stable employment. Okay, as a result of which the output of production is more stable. Okay, so production is more stable. And if you have a stable production, your profits are more stable, your profits are more consistent. Okay, so the companies can invest in things like capital investments. You have capital investments like equipment, machinery, land, buildings, so on and so forth. Okay, knowing that their profits will be consistent each year. Okay, and this is what the stock investors look at as well when it comes to investing in a company or a stock. Okay, when it comes to investing in an ETF, when it comes to investing in a stock, okay, not only do they look at the price per share, but they also look at the status of the company as to how the company is doing in general. Okay, because they got to figure out their return on investment. They want to make sure that the return on investment, their return on investment will be stable, will be consistent year after year. All right. So when it comes to cutting wages, okay, if the employers or suppliers do decide to cut the wages of employees, okay, it may damage, okay, the reputation, the productivity, and the prospects within a company, especially if they chop down wages of the insider workforce. Okay, because obviously the insider workforce have been there for a long time. And it's also possible that because of their experience, okay, they may have more alternatives, more places to go to if they're not satisfied with the wages. And if they do end up in another company, this company will lose more of its insider workforce. Okay, which means obviously the marginal benefit will go down. Okay, and the revenue as well as the profit will go down. All right. So that's it for this video. On behalf of Obey Electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.